Recognize Mr. Fallon from Texas for 5 minutes.
New rule of the Biden Labor Department, thank you, Mr. Chairman, to allow ESG to be taken into account and prioritized over fiduciary duty not only violates current law, but also common sense. So what's more powerful? I thought we were proud to be a rule of law nation. So the rule of law should be more powerful than the law of rule. Retirement, it's pretty straightforward. Under federal and state law, asset managers owe a fiduciary duty to their clients. Essentially, this means that they'll put their clients' interests first. When asset managers enter into ESG pledges or commitments, they violate their fiduciary duty and instead place undue risk on their clients' investments. So if a retirement plan fiduciary must make investment decisions and exercise shareholder rights based on solely whether or not they enhance retirement savings. That's straightforward, that's simple, it's clear, and it's smart. And quite frankly, anything else is an attack on capitalism. So we had a chart here earlier from one of my colleagues that had ESG investments all really high and the traditional investments were lower. So that was compelling. Is it true? Because if it was, it would seem that would already fit in to the definition that I just read about being and acting in your client's best interest. But unfortunately, it's not. Bradford Cornell of UCLA and Aswath Damodaran of New York University reviewed shareholder value created by firms with high and low ESG ratings and scores provided by professional rating agencies. And their conclusion was, and I quote, telling firms that being socially responsible will deliver higher growth, profits, and value is false advertising. What they found at the micro level was also on the macro level. Over the past 5 years, global ESG funds have underperformed the market by 250 basis points, 6.3% as opposed to the 8.9% you would have received under traditional investments. This means that an investor that's going to put in 10 grand comes out with 13.5 instead of 15,250. So it's interesting to note, too, a new report from researchers from the universities of Utah, Hong Kong, and Miami found there's no evidence that socially responsible investment funds improve corporate behavior. Now, why is that? And that's very simple. The production of goods and services declines only when people stop buying them, not when others stop investing in the companies that produce them. This is merely another attempt by the far left to perform an end around of current law, meddling in free markets, to compel behavior and achieve their dreams of a non-existent socialist utopia. What you get, and you're paying for it, what you get is more risks, more danger, less stability, and fewer returns. And the ESG ratings, by the way, themselves are all over the board. So consider this. Broadly accepted financial accounting practices have enabled competing rating agencies, competitors, like Fitch and S&P and Moody's, to reach similar credit evaluations 99% of the time. ESG counterparts can't say the same thing. MSCI and Sustainalytics, they only reach the same ratings 54% of the time, just about 1 and 2. So the ratings are incredibly discretionary. Attorney General Marshall, is this the role of the federal government? Should Joe Biden be able to gamble with retirement funds and pensions of the American worker?
No, and we've heard during this hearing today that this is as a Republican issue. In fact, dealing with ERISA has been a bipartisan issue that the Senate showed very strongly when they voted to overturn the rule that the Department of Labor had advanced, as well as the one that we're currently litigating. The concern has to do with what does it mean to be a fiduciary, and what are we doing to be able to protect the hard-earned dollars and investments of American workers. Clearly, this administration has gone too far.
Attorney General Reyes, federal, state, and local governments defined benefit plans make up $7.6 trillion of the $33.5 trillion U.S. investment retirement market. How does funneling these workers' retirement funds toward varying lobbying efforts impact these governments' ability to function independently?
I'm going to quote from the Vanguard CEO when he pulled Vanguard out of the NAZM. He said, We cannot state that ESG investing is better performance-wise than broad index-based investing. Our research indicates ESG investing does not have any advantage over broad-based investing. This ERISA rule, again, critically important to 152 million working Americans. That's out of a total of 158 for $12 trillion of their hard-earned dollars. And again, as you noted earlier, Congressman, the rule is violative of ERISA on its face, and we believe defective for a number of other reasons that we're confident will prevail on in court.
Thank you. And thank you, Mr. Chair. I yield back.